Let's get ready to ramble. Hi there. Welcome to Worldwide Ramblings, albeit 6 minutes late. Had everything set up for the live show, including the tabs saved that I wanted to use. And when we went to YouTube, we got to the portion where we would be ready to hit the live button, except I forgot to plug in the camera. Then in my haste, I just X'd everything out and had to rebuild everything. It's been kind of crazy lately. It's been kind of crazy. One person has found us so far. So we'll wait a little bit. And of course, it's Cindy in South Louisiana who's visiting another location in South Louisiana. Hello, Jack. She was on our impromptu program. It was really a promo for this program. It was also a pop on to pop off. But all of a sudden, we lost the signal. And it was one of those situations where it would not let me close the live tab. The only way I could get rid of it was to just eliminate the whole show, which I didn't want to do because our time on, we didn't come on till like 12:30 this morning. I'm talking to you on a Saturday, October 5th. If you're seeing this at another time, it doesn't apply. But we were on for about an hour and 27 minutes, and then boom, it was gone. I was pretty much wrapping it up anyway, but I could not save that show. I could not save that show. And now it's becoming a worrisome thing because last Saturday night, we were 7 minutes in when we lost signal and we were able to get it back, and everything was fine after that. Usually it kills the momentum, but it didn't last time. So hopefully we won't lose the signal again. Andy did something to the router. Um, we replaced the router when the account was changed. The Spectrum account was changed from Karen's name to my name, which means I now pay the Spectrum uh, internet. That's what we use Spectrum for. We have Sling for TV, and that meant we couldn't keep the router we had. We had to get a new one, and we've had more trouble with this one, it seems. I have a hard line coming in here. But anyway, that's the story. Hopefully, I won't have to start a second stream tonight. Hoping. Hello, Barbara Kendall. How are you? Hello, Justin Battinger. Hello, Jack. M. Silva from the Lone Star State. Howdy. Pam Donnelly. Hi, Jack. From Indiana wants me. Lord, I can't go back there. Cheryl Everhart. Hi, Jack and family. Oh, boy. I don't know if I'm the best. You know, I'm not a newer model anymore. Nancy Whitmore is here. Hi, everyone. Hi, Nancy. She was with us in our early morning show today, as was Cindy in South Louisiana. Hello, all. As was Marty Greco. What is happening, Jack? And everyone, what's happening? Oh, you mean like that? What's happening? I remember that TV show when I was growing up. Um, David Brian Lawson. Sounds like a law firm. David Brian Lawson. Can I get Lawson, please? Okay. How are you? Nice to see you, David. Ted Richards. Hello, Jack and all. Gail George. Hello. Linda Justice. Hey, Jack. Um, Neo was with us also this morning. Oh, that was, a pretty fun show, and I hated killing it. Maybe I should have just let it stay live overnight. I mean, I shut off the computer. I thought maybe that would do it and start again and try to get that into the, uh, replay segment of the live channel, but I couldn't get it done. And he says, maybe I should have just left it. Of course, then it looks like I'm live and people start writing in the stream, but I can't play it back. I can't do anything. June Joyner. Hello, Jack and everyone. Vicky Matthews. Victoria Winters. That's right, Victoria Winters. She's here somewhere. I've cleaned up some of the mess, but there's more to go. There's more to go, and Victoria Winters is lost in a pile somewhere. Oh, boy. Yeah, she's somewhere. She's buried somewhere, Victoria. But on Dark Shadows, being buried doesn't necessarily mean you're going to stay buried. So that's a good thing. That's always a good thing. And that's right. David is from Lexington, North Carolina. Did Hurricane Helene visit you? Now we have one that's forming that could hit Florida on Wednesday. Wednesday? Is that Milton? Or is that another one? I guess Isaac kind of fizzled out. J and K, what happened to them? Now we could be up to M, which will be Milton, as in Milton Berle. Huh. So that's Kim Lackey. Hello all. Welcome to you. So we got a kind of a potpourri tonight, some audio for you to hear and stuff like that. And I'm just looking behind me to see how that looks. It's not one of the frustrating things is last night I just was in a groove. I was in a groove. By the way, I've got some Suzanne Summers stuff with me. If Katina Swatsworth sees this, I don't know that she's here yet, but here's the gut renew that Karen uses, and I even used a little bit of it myself. Was that last night? Yeah, I think it was last night. Gut renew, but this is not that. This is bad for the gut. This is what a doctor, probably a cardiologist, said on YouTube, not YouTube, but Facebook Reels. He said, soda is liquid death. Well, here we go. Have a little liquid death now in the form of diet sugar-free Pepsi. Everybody has two kinds of diet now. This is the zero sugar one. I prefer that over any of them. Oh, yes. When you're really thirsty, as strange as it sounds, carbonated soda is what I want. It quenches my thirst more than water. I mean, I got water too, and I drink certainly more water than I used to. Nancy DeMarco is here from the wonderful state of Oklahoma. Well, good evening, Jack and family. Good evening to you. And yes, the Grand Patriarch, who was talking to the Dead live stream last night at about 2 o'clock in the morning. Richard snuck out of bed and was going to look at something improper. Instead, he found me live. But by then, I'm just joking. By then, I had lost the live stream, but it still looked like I was live. And Richard said, shouldn't you be getting your beauty sleep, Jack? And I probably could have responded to that and you would have seen it. Even though I couldn't get the stream back up, I had to finally just cancel, make it private and then delete the whole thing to get it out of there. I couldn't save it for replay. Now, maybe if I just left it alone all night, maybe the next morning when I rose, the next daylight time, I would have been able to do it. Who knows? I hate the technical stuff. I hate it. Well, here is Big E, Mountain Dew Zero is my beer here in East Tennessee. I know when I lived in South Carolina, Rock Hill, South Carolina, Mountain Dew was number one with a bullet. Number one with a bullet. I was shocked. I mean, Far more people drinking Mountain Dew in South Carolina than were drinking Pepsi and Coke. That was my experience anyway. So, yeah, we have a saying here: we pipe the sunshine in and pipe the moonshine out. LOL. Well, when is my favorite reality show coming back? Moonshiners. Do you watch that, Big E? They've been filming now for months, and they should be ready to go. But I don't think they've started the episodes yet. I keep looking, and they should be debuting this month. They didn't debut till January of this year for what would be a short season. You know, they weren't really involved, I don't think, with the writer's strike, which pushed everything else back, but maybe something I don't understand about it. Anyway, they didn't have a long season last year like they usually do. They usually do about long season for them is about 17 shows, and I think they did about 10 last year. So I've never had a sip of moonshine, but I love that show, Moonshiners, with Mark and Digger and Josh, and of course Tickle, and now they've got Amanda Bryant. Right, Amanda Bryant is the female moonshiner with her light, long red hair. Um, she is. She's on Facebook a lot. She is building her brand. I see it happening before my eyes. Nothing wrong with that, you know. Make hay while the sun shines. Popcorn Sutton. Yeah, well, I don't know. We'll hear from Popcorn Sutton tonight. Um, he has never spoken in a live show using his real name. We're very fortunate, you know. Now, when we do get people that just want to come on and cause trouble, you know, most people let me know pretty quickly they're not happy about that. So I don't go on other people's pages to make trouble, you know, or to force my opinion down their throat. And we just speak of possibilities. I could be wrong about the whole thing. So, Richard says the magic number tonight is 111. All right. We're up to 50, 60 now. 60 with 17 likes. Just please hit the like button and the notification bell because we do pop on to pop off quite a bit these days. And you'll know about it if you're near your device. If Brenda, I don't know if you're here, is not near her device, she won't get the notification. Yes, and we know what kind of device I'm talking about. Huh. Nancy. Was that an amazing rally in Butler, PA, or what? It sure was. I watched myself. I did. Um, I enjoyed it very much. How about that opera singer, huh? Who sang Ave Maria. I have no problem with Ave Maria. You know, I don't believe in worshiping Mary. I do not. Praying to Mary, you know, well, they say, well, we pray for her to intercede for us. I'm, you know, I was raised Catholic, and that's. Then I went into the Protestant church. Believe I was born again in 1984 through the grace of God. Um, but still have a love for the Catholic Church, despite the fact that I don't agree with all the doctrine. I think they've got communion absolutely right. I've said that before, you know, this once a month stuff that you rush through is do this in memory of me when you get around to it. That's not what the scripture says. And I believe my feeling is, and my feelings are only worth the price of a medium coffee from Quick Check. Do you have a Quick Check where you are? Probably not. But I believe it's the literal body and blood of Christ. Drink my blood and eat my flesh means just that. So I'm big on that. I'm big on that. I'm not big on pompous preachers like Rod Parsley and Some of the others that just, got the hanky out and they're going back and, to the rhythm of the organ, they're sweating and, they're just full of pomposity. Not my style. Gee, I saw a little footage with Ken Copeland, who's like he's in his 80s now, but not a gray hair to be found. And Gloria Copeland came out. Somebody was kind of walking her out. Um, it looks like she might have had a stroke or something. She didn't say much. She smiled and muttered a few words, but that's not the Gloria Copeland I know. So you try to find out. It's like trying to find out about Mark Levin because again he missed his Saturday night show on Fox. He was there last weekend and getting all excited. Now he took a fall. I think it was in his house, and he tore that muscle that's between the thigh and the kneecap. Serious thing. It required surgery. He had that surgery. Um, and President Trump was saying now, as soon as you can, Mark, we need you. This is a time when we need you. You didn't hurt your voice, but he's got to have time to heal. He had surgery, but he got back on the air. And although he's missed a lot of radio shows lately, and now he wasn't on Monday, but then again, it was Rosh Hashanah. I didn't hear. I did hear him. I heard him on Thursday on his radio show. And but when I saw him on TV last weekend on Fox, I don't know if he'll be on Sunday with Life, Liberty, and Levin, 8 p.m. East Coast time, and then they replay it at 11 East Coast time. So figure out your time slot there on the Fox News channel. He seems a little out of breath, and there he is yelling again, a little out of breath. And if you look really closely, I think I see a little tremor there. I see a little tremor there. So, once you get into your 60s, things start to happen. I will share, I think, a video from when we were on location that concerned me a little bit. That's all I'll say for now. I got to pull it off my phone, and I'll need Andy's help on this one, I think. Judy Wright, not Betty Wright, the cleanup woman. I mean, she really cleans up. You could eat off the floor after Judy Wright is finished. You could eat right off the floor. Yes, hello to you. What are you saying, Neo? It is about breaking bread with your fellow people and celebrating the sacrifices Jesus made. Yes, and once a month is just not good enough for that. And I think also taking from the cup is also good. Some Catholic churches do that. COVID pushed a lot of that back. But when I went to St. John's Catholic Church in Goshen, New York, we only lived 3 doors away. They would have the cup as well. It would be one chalice, and they would wipe it and turn the cup around for the next person and what have you, the body and blood of Jesus Christ. And of course, it's really wine, so children could not do that. Children could not do that even if they had received their first communion. They would just get a blessing. They would get a blessing along with the Eucharist. Faith Lloyd, hi Jack. I hope you and Karen are fine. Yeah, we have all our issues. Issues. Karen always has those pain issues. She'll be going for her Botox injections on Wednesday. That got pushed back because her neurologist has long COVID. And he took some time off, and they didn't have anybody to replace him. These things happen a lot more today than they used to, where we don't have the community doctors anymore. We have a couple, 2 or 3 big places in a city this size that have thousands of patients, and they don't have anybody to replace a doctor who's got 250, 300 Botox patients or whatever he has, you know. So hopefully he's back in the saddle. And I always go with Karen for her Botox injections. I want to make sure she doesn't fall on the way out. So I want to be there to catch her if she should stumble. And then I like to see I like to see the doctor as well. I like to see the doctor as well. Hi, Deborah Lake. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Sandra Weber. You didn't miss it. You didn't miss the live. So I'm glad you didn't. Sandra Weber from Nashville, or just outside Nashville, right? And Deborah Lake is here, and Mike Fortner. Let's get into this. Hello, Jack. Hello, hello, hello. So there you go. Well, all right. Let's get into a little bit here. Um, a little bit of audio. Pastor Bob Joyce, in his own words. Whole lot of new Elvis programmers out there right now. I don't know which is which. It's not that one that I want right now. I want this one. Yeah. Um, Gene Ho, who I hope to have on here soon. We could do a phone call with Gene. Gene, if you're watching right now, live, um, just email me that you are, and I'll give you a number. But I already did give you a number, so if you have that number, you could call, and we'll just talk real quick about America in a flash. We could do that. Um, or we'll, love to do another video interview with you, or both. But many of you have heard the interview that he did with Pastor Bob in the Sanctuary of Household of Faith. Part one, Pastor Bob interview with Gene Ho, George Magazine, unveiling the truth. And Gene Ho asked Pastor Bob about the fact that many people come. He didn't say to see you. I'm talking about the visitors that come from far away, maybe another state in the United States of America, or maybe Amsterdam, maybe the UK. Um, a lot of them come, he put it this way, uh, because they want to hear you sing. They want to hear you sing. Is that a distraction to you when they're motivated? He didn't put it in two parts. Like they're coming to see you and hear you sing. That would have been the complete way to say it. He just talked about singing, and Pastor Bob responded to that.
Singing's always been part of my life. I grew up as a little kid singing in church, like so many did at that time. And learned to play the guitar about, I don't know, 9, 10, 11 years old. And been playing and singing ever since, so it's just part of my life. So singing is just part of what I do. I've always done that. Now, if people want to hear me sing, that's okay. I'll sing. They want to hear me sing, I'll sing. I'll always sing. But God called me more than just to sing. So somebody says, I'm the singing preacher. Well, there's some preachers out there that could preach and sing.
Do you think
it's not anything?
Is that the attraction of you singing out there? Do you think that most people, is it 50-50? Most people come here. I'll just tell you my thing. I wanted to hear you sing, and then I was here, and then I was like, wow, I like the message.
I would say so. I would say people come here because they hear me singing, but I'm beginning to believe that more and more people are realizing the message that they hear is more impactful for them. They love the singing, but they talk about it. But what I gather is more people are beginning to say, hey, we love you singing, and man, I love to hear you preach. So I love your message. So because it's speaking to them and speaking to their heart.
Pastor Bob Joyce there. And of course, he was on the cover of the August issue of George Magazine, August, the month they had the George Magazine Live event in Hot Springs, Arkansas. So that was really cool. And obviously, he preached a wonderful message on Sunday, August 11th, at the Horner Hall Theater, one of the best. And he did mention Elvis in that. You don't need Bob, you don't need Paul, you don't need Peter, and you don't need Elvis. Stop following man. Stop looking to man. And that got a standing ovation. Hello, Jody Smith. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Boyd is here as well with a smiley face. Boyd is here, but as Mel. No, that's not true. Sandra. If that's not Elvis's voice talking, I'll eat my hat. Do you have a hat to eat? Get a edible hat. It'll be better for you, you know. Something tasty. I said this, I think, on the Saturday night show last week that sometimes he sounds different when he speaks. When Miss Willina did the Bob Joyce bobblehead reveal, he was caught off guard and was laughing about it and what have you. And the voice he was talking with sounded different than the voice you just heard now. It sounded like a young Elvis talking. This is such a weird story. It goes beyond the scope. It goes beyond the scope, Richard Lyon, Pastor EBJ, yeah, Pastor EBJ. So, yeah, that's part of the mystery. Angelo is here. Your voice is different when he's aging, but that's the weird thing. He seems to be capable sometimes of singing and talking like a younger Elvis Presley, but not to the point where he could sing Heartbreak Hotel today and sound like the record. Not like that. In 2011 that he did the Dentons and Bentons with his son Matt Joyce, when he went to go to full voice in the ending of American Trilogy. I won't say that he sounded like Elvis did in the Hawaii concert in 1972, but it was good and it was recognizable. Many of the Elvis imitators, and by the way, Matt Joyce is a great Elvis imitator. I mean, he sounds really good. You know, I would definitely enjoy seeing Matt Joyce in concert, but they never quite get the sensuality, the depth of the Elvis voice. The imitators, you can tell the difference. Like, has anybody heard that song that's out there? I wish I could play it for you. I might be able to even find it right here on Spotify, but I can't play music. They'll cut the audio. I could try it in a pre-recorded video, and if you know, that gives YouTube a chance to see if there's any objection. I don't know how they do this in like 5-10 minutes, but they sometimes allow it, and they'll say, well, you can't monetize it, which is always fine with me because I want the audience to hear it, whether I get anything for it or not. It's their song, not mine, you know, so I'm cool with that. Whoever wrote the song. But they'll cut the audio. But that song, check the spelling on the stone. We all know that Aaron on the Elvis Presley gravestone was incorrectly spelled, and people said, well, it was done that way because he didn't really die, and that's one clue to let you know that's not Elvis Aaron Presley that is laid to rest here. And of course, the biggest, the Lloyds of London um, life insurance policy has never been redeemed. Never been redeemed. Elvis is a master of manipulating his voice. Yes, my boyfriend was an entertainer and he could sound like other people, sure, like Sinatra, Elvis, Andy Williams, Marty Robbins. Yeah. Most aficionados of those people you mentioned, though, could tell the difference. Now, Joe Piscopo is a wonderful Frank Sinatra imitator. Um, he he did it on Saturday Night Live. Sinatra saw him doing it, liked it, and before you know it, uh, Joe Piscopo was being invited out to dinner with not just Frank Sinatra, but the rest of the crew, the rest of the Rat Pack. And I have seen Joe Piscopo live. He uh, he was down in Goshen for the America the Beautiful concert with Jimmy Sturr, and Joe Piscopo was like the opening act. He sang with the Jimmy Sturr Orchestra backing him up, and a wonderful show. And he did some Sinatra songs, no doubt about it. But I wouldn't say he sounds exactly like the chairman of the board. So the joke was that Joe would be doing his act in town, and Frank and the crew, whoever he was, it wasn't always the Rat Pack, whoever he was with, would show up at Joe Piscopo's show, sit right there in the front row. How's that for intimidation? And at some point, uh, Joe Piscopo, of course, would acknowledge him and say, "And I just want to tell you, Frank, can I call you Frank?" And Sinatra would yell out, "No!" But they started to become friends, and he said, "You're the vice chairman of the board. You're the vice chairman of the board, Joe Piscopo." The fact that Joe's Italian, helped a long way. Sam Sammy, my goodness, blessing me by hitting the thanks button that you see right there for 279. Saturday night Elvis Fever. Yeah. Saturday night Elvis Fever. And then Jody Smith follows on the thanks button. I haven't even mentioned it yet. Don't say, boy, he's quick to mention those thanks button these days. I am always quick to mention thank you to the people that do hit the thanks button. And hello, replay crowd. You can hit the thanks button too if you don't see it in the video. Go to one of my other videos and you'll find the thanks button there. For some reason, in the replays, the thanks button isn't always there, especially right away. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why I love you like I do. I don't know why I just do. You never seem to want my romancing. The only time you hold me is when we're dancing and you're grabbing my wallet. I don't know what. Okay. So thank you. 279 from Sam Sammy, a frequent giver, as is Jody Smith, $5. I really appreciate that. That goes into the November, the third week in November, fairly close to Thanksgiving, and that'll help me out. We came in behind for this month. We came out short, not terrible, but short, and part of that was my fault for not doing enough pre-recorded videos. But it's the live shows where we have the core audience and other people watching the replay, and it's you guys. It's you guys that watch the live show, mostly the regulars that boost up much needed revenue. Believe me, much needed revenue by hitting the thanks button. So thank you, Jody and Sam Semi. And it's always wonderful when someone new does that. I don't want to feel the same people feel burdened, I don't want that, but I thank you guys. And let's see here. Pamela Sloan, yes, she has blessed us with the thanks button as well. Hi, Jack. I was just here earlier. You weren't on, so all these people got here before I did. I was 6 minutes late because I forgot to plug in the microphone, the camera, the microphone. Oh boy, I forgot to plug in the camera. So when I went to, you know, put in my welcome message and then go live, I was going to be late either way. I was going to be late by a couple of minutes either way, but by the time I accidentally, I have tabs that I have built above me for things I want you to hear. Like we're going to talk about Cindy Brady in just a minute. What the heck is happening there? They're canceling Cindy Brady now in this crazy world. Sorry for spitting. Uh, it's just insane. It's just insane. The free speech crowd, the uh, the uh, the definition of a liberal was someone that believed all points of view should be heard. Not anymore. Not anymore. They want to take away your free speech, and they want to control Google. They want to control X. They want to control Facebook. Oh, yes. We can't have different rules, Kamala said a few years back, for Facebook and Google and X when they start. The key term here is misinformation. If it's something we don't agree with, we'll label it misinformation and say, you can't say it. I think they want us to become North Korea here. I'm not sure. All I know is they're rotten to the core. Hillary Clinton, with her bleach bit emails and the investigation on all that, revealed that, Comey, remember FBI Director Comey, who turned out to be a real disappointment, uh, said, well, there was wrongdoing here, but we don't think that it would be there would be an appetite to prosecute it. She is now all of a sudden the patron saint of honest speech, of honesty. And she inferred, well, for some misinformation, maybe it would be necessary for that to become a crime, a person be put in jail. We're talking Hillary Clinton saying this. Now, I do understand that every night, especially during the time when she was running against Donald Trump, someone like Sean Hannity hammered her and hammered her, Hammond, I can't say it, hammered her over and over again about her wiping out all her emails and basically destroying what was thought to be relevant evidence. But oh my goodness, it's just so crazy to live in this time and see what was talked about for the future now is a reality. So yeah. Why is my phone going off? I want to check my email here so I don't miss anything. Like maybe Gene Ho is watching. Oh no, the Cash App. My goodness. I didn't even give out the Cash App, but you know it already, don't you? Media Guy 56, MEDIA, MEDIA 56, lowercase, Media Guy 56. June Joyner hit the Cash App for $20, and she has given before. And Susan Carter, who has given many times, $10 on the Cash App. So thank you, June and Susan, for hitting Media Guy 56 on the Cash App. Thing about Cash App is that you link your bank account to it, then you can send money to anyone you want, and they can send money back to you. I get all of it that way through Cash App, unless I want to get it right away, and then maybe I pay like 50, 60 cents or something. Um, And so I get it pretty much right away. Not if it's a weekend, but right away, and I get all of it. Whereas Google takes a portion of each thanks button uh, tip, because that's what it is. I'm like your waiter. Maybe I should put on a white shirt with a little black bow tie and get a gold jacket. Like it's a video restaurant here, a video restaurant. That's what it is. It's a tip. So thank you, June, and thank you, Susan, for hitting the Cash App. Didn't hear from Gene Ho. Are you watching, Gene, and you want to call up and talk about your book? Gene Ho's father had a heart attack, and I believe had surgery, and I believe he's doing better. That's the update there. I don't know if anybody has heard any further update. What is really in that drink, Jack? No, yeah, I really am hammered, right? No, I did have a little wine earlier. Karen bought that wine that we found in the oldest restaurant in America in Essex, Connecticut. She got a bottle. It's only $13. She got it down here at the strip mall where we see Mr. Washy Washy every week, and ShopRite's there, and Brother Bruno's is there. There's a wine and liquor store there. So she had a glass of wine, and I had a few sips of that while we were sitting in the gazebo. It was a beautiful afternoon here, Richard. It was beautiful, I tell you. But now it's 49 degrees. It was 100 degrees tonight in Las Vegas, Nevada. We know because our friend and classmate from the 60s, Christine, was there. She's in Vegas with her son. And she said it was hot as Hades in Vegas. And that was, like at 7 o'clock at night, maybe. No, maybe I got to remember 3 hours earlier. Maybe it was like, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and it was 100 degrees in Vegas today. What about you, Richard? I know it's cooling down a little bit in Port St. Lucie. It was 85, and the low tonight would be like 77. That's too hot for me. See, in Los Angeles, it would be, 90 during the day sometimes, but then at night, people be wearing sweaters. Yeah, they're strange. 67 degrees, you put on a sweater if you live in like a desert climate. I guess your blood thins or something. I don't know. It's one thing if Trump wins the election on November 5th, but there's still all the time we have to wait till the inauguration in January. Who knows what they could try, in that time period between the win and January 20th. You're absolutely right, Jody, and I was talking about that this morning. I think you were with us, right? I wish that show hasn't disappeared forever, because I would have loved to have heard it again, and love for you to hear it, because we were on at 12:30 in the morning, So hopefully we won't have that problem tonight. Andy did something to the router, but we may have to get a new one, because that was it's been happening more than ever. Well, my goodness, Ruthie, king of rock and roll, loves Elvis singing. I wish I could play some for you. Well, every once in a while, we put a little in on a pre-recorded video, and they accept that. And she hits the thanks button for $10. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As I say, we were behind for last month, and now we're building towards the November payment. And as I said last night, when half your pension is suddenly gone, it knocks you on your butt. Things that I didn't know about that were coming. All of a sudden were a reality in my life. Always read all the paperwork, because maybe the other person didn't read all the paperwork. and that one day they will, and then oh boy, look out, look out. But I have nothing but love for anyone that has ever been my wife. All 12 of them, and I mean that sincerely. All 12 of them. Now, a few of them we were married, I was married to two women at the same time. Now, I'm joking, right? Someone's going to say, oh, I can't believe that. Don't believe that. That's a joke, Tad Richards. Don't take me literally. Two ex-wives, though, unfortunately. 45 here and going down to 40 overnight. I forget where you are, Teddy. I forget. Trish Terry is here. Hi, Jack and everyone. Sam Semi says, wow. 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. I'll probably understand what that means later when I think about it. Sandra Fair, sorry, Richard, that another storm is headed your way. Yeah, Richard, that's the scary thing. Now, Karen was telling me that she was just showing me the red that the storm could cover, which is going to come in as a Cat 2 or a Cat 3. And it was all of Florida this time. Am I reading that right, Richard? What are you hearing? What are you hearing, Richard? Yeah, maybe Cat 3 or bigger. That is scary stuff. I mean, just the stuff that you've seen going on. Obviously, a lot of destruction in Florida. Cedar Keys, was it? Cedar Keys and other places. But a lot of the news coverage has been about North Carolina. Is it Asheville? That one place in North Carolina? Mudslides and everything. They know there's dead people under that mud. They do. We're talking well over 200 deaths now. So, and it's gonna do nothing but climb. And Kamala is, she's basically ignoring it. And she met with some people, and they just want to tell her what they really feel about her, but they realize they have an obligation to try to get the money, but basically they've been told that FEMA doesn't have that much money because it was all given to the immigrants. This is just an unbelievable scenario. 1,400 sex offenders or more let into the United States of America, and no push to get them deported, no push to reenact what President Trump had talked about, had signed into legislation which would bring real border security. He was in the process of building the wall when they stopped, and they stopped building the wall, tore some of it down. Others, you could just walk around it. So thank you again, Ruthie, for that $10. I really appreciate it on the thanks button. And thank you, both June and Susan, for hitting the Cash app. Oh, what a blessing. What a blessing. John Jeffries joins us. Hello, John Jeffries. Also known as JB Colt. That's your name on Dallas, right? You were the arch enemy of what's his name? Larry Hagman's JR. Yeah. How are you, John Jeffries? I'm glad you're here. Henry Rollins is really Shirley, I believe. That's my town, Jack. Cool. Asheville. Green Asheville. So I've got the wrong town, though, you weren't involved in the worst part of the devastation in North Carolina, were you? All that flooding and what have you. There's just, it's impossible. People sleeping in their cars and things like that. It's impossible. Now, Samaritan's Purse is down there with Franklin Graham. What's Richard saying? Yeah, he's talking about Tampa or South. That's where it's going to hit. Tampa or South. Asheville, North Carolina. Yeah, that's where That's where they got the worst of it seems. But many places in North Carolina, into Tennessee, and what have you, um, it is just it is just terrible. These things have been going on for a long time, but I will admit it's worse than it used to be. That doesn't mean that building more windmills and everybody driving an electric car will change that. That's just the folly of man. As the late George Carlin said, the planet's not going anywhere. I would add until God decides that it is, but we are leaving. We will be leaving. Hmm. So, hi, Shirley. Glad you're here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, what? They're going to cancel, in this crazy atmosphere that we have, they're going to cancel Cindy Brady now. Apparently, there was going to be a Brady Bunch reboot. There's been many before. Why not have another one? I'm all for it. I love the Brady Bunch cast. Barry Williams. Happy birthday, Barry Williams. You just turned 70 years old. Barry Williams, Greg Brady, is now 70 years old. So where is it? Oh, yeah. Here it is right here. Susan Olsen. Now there's a video you can see. I'm just using a fair use snippet here, and I'm steering you to it. Okay. How Wokeness Killed the Brady Bunch Reboot, an exclusive interview with Susan Olsen, parts 1 and 2. Look that up right here on YouTube, and you can see the beautiful Susan and the host, who will identify himself, I think. It's Walk Away Campaign, hashtag Walk Away Campaign, and she is pontificating about them not being happy with her politics. Now, remember, the people who used to produce the Brady Bunch are all retired, possibly dead. Like Sherwood Schwartz is dead. He's dead. He dead. First he bled because he hit his head or something. Then he was dead. Excuse me. I just had to clear me throat. So it's woke people now that are running these things. They don't know anything about the Brady Bunch. They don't care. But if there's money to be made, they would entertain it. But oh well, if we hear that somebody in the cast is a Trumper, well, we don't want them involved. We're for total censorship. We're not for different points of view at all. It turns out we're the most intolerant mofos you've ever encountered, baby boomers. We're intolerant to the core. We're even yelling, kill the Jews in front of the universities. That's who we are. We know who they are. We know who the progressives are. Not all of them would agree with that last thing, but, we know essentially who they are. They're not for free speech, are they? So let's listen to a little bit of Susan Olsen being interviewed, talking about, how wokeness killed the Brady Bunch reboot.
I was hoping to continue what Roseanne Barr had set out to do, which I really liked. And my agent called me and said, well, the network has a problem with you. And he's talking about what a dangerous person I am because I'm a bigot and I'm homophobic, I'm racist, and all these terrible things because I support Trump. No, we cannot have her in a show. If we go forward with this project, it will not be with her. They came back and said, would you be willing to take a course? I guess political correctness. We need to do a web search on Susan. You can say any horrible, hateful, awful thing you want as long as you're on the left. They won't budge. They just will not have you in this. And I'm like, wow, I've been canceled. A role that I've played for over 50 years, I can't play it now because I'm too dangerous.
But they're not mad at you.
I don't. One of them might be.
Okay. Spill the tea. What is your message to anybody in this country right now who sees things the way that you and I see things? When you think about the all-time most iconic TV shows in American history, I think probably most people at the top of their list would think about the Brady Bunch. It's a show that I know I grew up watching and loving. So many people grew up watching and loving the Brady Bunch. And there's been so many reboots and sequels and spin-offs and things throughout the years that the Bradys have done. So I was very pleasantly surprised when I got a phone call very recently, about a week ago, and had a chat with one of America's most beloved child actors, a character from the Brady Bunch, who told me that she wanted to talk about the fact that she wants to be outspoken now about the fact that she is walking away from woke Hollywood and has quite a story to tell. So I'm very excited today to have as my guest with me, Susan Olsen, America's favorite Cindy Brady from the Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here.
Hey, thank you.
And thanks for calling
It's a
me.
pleasure to meet you.
Vice versa.
Yeah, well, we can both thank Cherie Curry.
We can.
She's our mutual friend.
Another American icon.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Cherie Curry from the 70s all-girl rock band The Runaways. Cherie Curry recently also made a walk-away video talking about how she's walking away from the political left. She put us in touch. But we had a great conversation on the phone, and I almost wanted to just be like, let's stop talking because I want to do all this on camera.
Yeah.
So some of the things we've already gotten into, some we'll get into today. But what made you want to reach out to me, and what do you want to talk about today?
Well, basically, I have a story, which you already know. I have
Some
a
of it.
story to tell.
Yes.
And
Here's the story.
oh gosh, I walked right into that.
You did.
And it's something that I want known because it's just another example of cancel culture and woke Hollywood and woke media. And I think basically a certain amount of injustice. And but I didn't know how to say it. I figured, well, one day I'll write a book and I'll talk about this. And of course, I'm pretty lazy. And I've been writing this book for probably 20 years. Never got serious. And I've thought about talking on. In fact, I had an offer to speak on a television show about this incident, and I didn't want to be like a tattletale. That episode,
Another iconic episode.
F me up. It did because the kids at school thought that I was really going to tattle, and that's like the last thing that I would do. It was one of the most uncool things that Cindy did, and she did it while she was in my body on TV.
Right.
So I just I don't know. I'm worried about tooting my own horn. I have been very politically outspoken though, and I don't mind. I don't mind speaking my mind.
Sure.
About things, but this particular incident, I didn't want to hurt anybody else.
Well, to me, it's more than an incident. It's kind of a series of incidents that led to, I think, you doing something incredibly brave. And of course, we're going to get into all of it today. But really, truly, because I mean, when you think about in the end, it's really you that walked away from what could have been a really big opportunity. But you wanted to be true to yourself, and you wanted to be true to something that so many people love and care about, and that really represents. There's something bigger here. I think that what the Brady Bunch represents to so many people. So let's start at the beginning. And
all right, that's just a teaser. So now you have to check out that video if you want to hear that story from the Walk Away campaign, how wokeness killed the Brady Bunch reboot, an exclusive interview with Susan Olsen, parts 1 and 2, right here at YouTube. All right, right here at YouTube. So that's what's happening. That's what's happening out there. Remember, it's young people that are, holding the purse strings in Hollywood now. And if you don't fit the bill, you better be an icon like Kid Rock, or you're going to have a hard time getting work. Kid Rock is his own brand. He doesn't care. He will be for Trump 100%. And all we're doing here is trying to save the country from this rapid descent. This rapid descent. Um, Jody says, my grandpa is 80 and hates Trump to the core, and we get along together just fine and always have. It's just everyone in the family knows not to talk about Trump around him. Yeah, it can ruin a Thanksgiving dinner, right? We don't really have that problem. I mean, a few years ago, Karen's daughter and her grandchildren came along with their father. They all came together, and I was pretty much, I can't say I was excluded, but I could feel the vibe, and I decided to just give them their space. After all, it's just another day, really. Karen and I can have our own little celebration after they leave, and I did not participate. I did not participate. I didn't feel like I was welcome to participate, so I didn't. Ted Richards is saying good evening to Selena M. Thanks for alerting me. And look, here's Katina Swatsworth. Hello, Katina Swatsworth. And Selena M. and J Cat as well. And Katina says, okay, I'll try this again. This live sounds so interesting. Hollywood is so corrupt. It blows my mind. It blows my mind. Hello, everyone. Yeah, if I'm playing a video, I can't see this. I can't see the chat at all. I have to kind of catch up. And so if I'm playing a video and you want me to catch your comment, it would probably be the best to wait till that's over, because I could miss it. I look back, but I could miss it, because we're doing pretty good now. Richard says 111, and we're at 78. So let's see if we can get that up. Grandma Becky has added to our numbers. Just finished the video I was watching. What did I miss? Well, you have to watch the replay. Hopefully, we won't get cut like we did this morning in our promo for this live show, which was really also a pop on to pop off. And I lost the stream, and then it was one of those things where I couldn't get it to go into the replay mode. It just looked like I was still live, and the only thing I could do, tried everything I could think of, was make it private and then delete it. So we were pretty hot this morning. I don't know, it was one of those times when I felt really everything was flowing. Not bad today, but that was special. And even Richard woke up at 2 a.m. to pour himself a glass of Chardonnay, and typed in, Jack, what are you doing up? You should be getting your beauty sleep. Are you saying I need extra beauty sleep, Richard? Is that what you're saying? Uh-huh. You're probably right. So watch the replay. It'll be here in the live section. As soon as we finish the broadcast, you'll see it. We got a little bit of Bob Joyce audio, and we still have some. I've noticed there's a lot more Elvis programmers now. They're doing short stuff, usually with almost like a computer voice. I mean, you hear this one voice on all kinds of topics. It's not just the Elvis Bob Joyce topic. I think the same voice basically tells you that Elvis died, and then the same voice in another video from somebody else tells you that Bob Joyce is probably Elvis. So whatever. It gets confusing, Ted. It gets confusing. Oh, Brenda finally made it, huh? I don't want her to say, oh, I didn't know about it. She really doesn't usually say that on Saturday night. Sounds like the producers need to be sued. Good luck. Well, I don't believe in luck, but you know what I'm saying. These young people, you would think there would be an appetite for that, but the culture we live in now, the baby boomers, the conservatives, are really the underdogs here. they're the underdogs because the progressives are obviously in the courts. They're in politics. They're all over politics, and they don't like us. They don't like us. The people who love America and just want to see the Constitution upheld and see crime go down, and there'll be consequences for that crime. Um, we're the bad guys. We're the bad guys. What do you mean you don't want 20 million people that just waltzed into America here? What do you mean? So, yeah, we have to worry about this. We have to make sure we vote. Early voting is encouraged because, now think about this. A lot of the Bible Belt was hit with Hurricane Helene, and now we got another one coming. Well, vote now. Vote now. Early voting has begun because you may not have a polling station you come November 5th, This is another terrible thing to worry about, along with everything else, because what happens in Florida doesn't stay in Florida. It comes out into, of course, Georgia. We haven't mentioned Georgia yet, and the governor in Georgia and even in Virginia saying, the lack of aid they are getting from our government. Samaritan's Purse doing their usual wonderful job. The Red Cross is involved, of course, and others. But the need is so great. The need is so great. And Richard could tell you how expensive it is to get hurricane insurance in Florida, right? I've heard that the cheapest you can get it is $3,000 a year. $3,000 a year. Is it more, Richard? Is it more? Richard, everybody has a question for Richard. Did I see that you posted that he had a new feed going on, but I couldn't find it, and I just found the one I'm on now. I'm not sure what you referred to. As I say, we were live this morning promoting this show, but since I did it live, of course, it quickly turned into a pop on to pop off, and we were on for almost an hour and a half when suddenly we lost the stream, and I could not load it into replay mode, so I had to cancel it to get rid of it because everybody thought we were live when we weren't at that point. But it was a pretty good one, and there were a lot of people here. A lot of the people that are here right now were there, like Ted Richards, I believe, and Neo and Ruthie and many, many more. Somebody said I woke them up. Someone finally said I woke them up. So I would like to see that reboot of the Brady Bunch because I love everybody in the Brady Bunch that still survives, Maureen and Christopher Knight would be my favorites. I thought they should be the couple. I'll be honest with you. That was the way I saw the hookup, but it seems like you had to go with your age group. Couldn't be someone who was a year or two younger than you. But so you had Barry Williams hooking up with his TV sister, Maureen McCormick, for a little bit. You had Chris Knight with Eve Plum, and yes, you had Susan Olsen with Bobby Brady, Mike Luckelin, right? That's how pretty much that played out. And then, of course, there's that famous story that Barry Williams, who just turned 70 years old, happy birthday, Barry, likes to tell about how he went on a date with Florence Henderson. She was real sweet about it because he had a crush on her. I mean, you want Marcia, you want Maureen, and now you're two-timing her with Mom? What the heck is going on, Katina? I know you can't understand that stuff. Okay, I'll try this again. Yeah, I gotta be on the screen or I don't see it. You're right about Hollywood being so corrupt, but there's no way it will ever return to the days of Little House on the Prairie and I was going to say Lancer for some reason. And of course, I've been really getting into watching some old interviews of Jonathan Harris from Lost in Space. What an interesting man he was. He died in 2002 of a blood clot, Jonathan Harris, who played Dr. Zachary Smith. Now, the show could be really silly, especially when Jonathan had a lot to do with taking it in that direction. But because of Jonathan Harris and his genius, the show stayed on for 3 years, 84 episodes, when it probably would have been canceled in 13 weeks. But it was not without tension on the set, because the star of Lost in Space was Zorro himself, a man who, was, from Buenos Aires, was very much a Latin gentleman who had an unpronounceable real name, but changed his name to Guy Williams. And then he played Zorro, which is like a Spanish character. But speaking in English, and I think he used his regular American voice. I can't remember Zorro that much. I did see some episodes with Guy Williams. And then he got the part as Professor John Robinson in Lost in Space, and he's going to be the star. He's signed up to be the head of the family, starring Guy Williams. And they shoot the pilot with June Lockhart, who's still alive, 98 years old, right? 98 years old, or she didn't turn 100, did she? She might have turned 100. I'm confused. June Lockhart is very old, maybe 100. And then we had Mark Goddard as Major Don West. We had Judy, the older sister, beautiful blonde woman. And we had Angela Cartwright, who was on Make Room for Daddy as Danny Thomas's daughter. Marta Krista played Judy, right? I was trying to think of her name. And but Bill Mumy, not Mummy, but Bill Mumy, who's got some great music on Spotify. Check out Bill Mumy, spelled Mummy, but with one M, Mumy. He and Dr. Smith, the way it went is they did a pilot, and the character of Dr. Smith, somebody might care about this, had not been invented yet. So they knew they needed a little something more. So Irwin Allen, who was supposedly a very strange, gruff gentleman, but very talented, who did a lot of movies, now wanted to do this television show, Lost in Space. And they saw some tape of Jonathan Harris because they wanted this stowaway for the real show. They wanted a stowaway who would be a villain. And they had seen some tape on Jonathan Harris. He'd been in so many things at that point in the early 60s. And so they said, send some, the agent called Jonathan, his agent called him and said, they want to see some film on you. They want to see some film. And Jonathan Harris said, well, tell Irwin that I have reservations about giving film when I don't even know what the part is. So he said, well, he's not going to like me telling him that. And Jonathan said something that I won't repeat here. But he got a call. Jonathan Harris got a call from Irwin Allen saying, who the hell do you think you are? You won't give me film. You won't give me film. I'll see you tomorrow at 4:00. See you tomorrow at 4. So that's what happened. And he walked into this crowded boardroom with yes men for Irwin Allen all over. And once again, he was greeted with, who the hell are you? You won't give me film. He says, well, Mr. Allen, he was very taken aback. He said, why would you want to see me give you the wrong film when you can see me in person? And it went back and forth. He says, I don't know what the part is. I haven't gotten a script. He said, oh, you don't have a script? Give him a script. And they gave him two scripts. He said, go home and read that. And he says, well, Jonathan Harris said, I have one question, and it's about billing. not the billing that you would get from your local utility company, but on the screen. Where is his name going to appear? He says, "Oh, look, I know where you're going. We already did a pilot. You were not in the pilot. And so it's already been contracted whose name will go where. Guy Williams is the star. Then comes June Lockhart. Then comes Mark Goddard. Then comes Marta Krista. Then comes Angela Cartwright. Then comes Bill Mumy. And that you'd have to be last." He says, "Well, I'm not comfortable with that. I'm not comfortable with being last." And he says, "Well, you figure out what to do. That's how it's got to be. It's in their contracts. It's in their contracts. So you call me tomorrow. You figure it out." So he talks to a casting director friend of his, and he says, "Have you ever heard of a billing?" This casting director, of course, he that's what he does. He does the billing order of the stars, and he says, "Have you ever heard of a billing that says special guest star every week? It's the same name." In other words, the Lost in Space, the last name you would see every week would be special guest star Jonathan Harris. And he said, "No, no, I've never done that. That's unheard of. It's never been done that I know of." So he says, "Well, thank you very much. Thank you." And he calls up Irwin Allen. He says, "I think I've solved the problem." And he says, "I'll accept being last, but I wanted to say special guest star Jonathan Harris every week in big letters." And Irwin Allen, who's, "Oh, look, I'm too busy for this. They'll think you're not going to be on next week if we do that." And then he started to curse at him and said, "You actors are so difficult. You can't act, half of you," and all that. And then at the end, he said, "Okay." Jonathan Harris says he laughed about that for a week. He laughed about that for a week. And that's how it became the last name. So then you got Guy Williams is the star of the show. That's what he intends. He's the highest paid he expects. Oh, there goes the chat. What did I do? The chat just disappeared. Are we still live? I still see 63 and 68. I don't think I pressed a button, but I might have knocked into something. Oh boy, it seems like the technical. There it is. It's back. Scared me to death, Ted Richards. Scared me to death. I think this is current. I hope it's current. Somebody say "Lost in Space." Write those words in and I'll see, because I'm seeing something I usually don't see. After Ted Richards says, "Agree, Sam, nothing they won't do." Somebody type in something after that. And if you already have, I probably got a problem seeing what you're writing. So anyway, the show goes to air, and Jonathan Harris realizes that this villain character, he read the scripts and he liked them, but he said this character is going to be, they're going to have to kill him off in 5 weeks because people are going to get tired of this guy. He says, "I've got to make him funny. I've got to bring in some comedy." And so, without telling anyone, he started to change things, and nobody said a thing. He started to make Dr. Smith funny, comical in a sense, like a scaredy cat, etc., etc. And sure enough, the audience started to eat it up. And he quickly developed a chemistry with young Will Robinson, Bill Mumy, and at some point, Irwin Allen said to him, "I know what you're doing, Jonathan. Give me more. Give me more." He gave him carte blanche to write his own dialogue off as it would relate to his character and also the character of Will Robinson. And Jonathan says, "I never considered myself a writer, but I'm a great rewriter." And he started to write awesome dialogue between him and then the robot. He came up with all the insults for the robot, etc. And so there were a lot of last minute changes, and Bill Mumy was able to handle it at his young age. And now the problem becomes that Lost in Space is a huge hit, but everybody's talking about Dr. Zachary Smith. And Guy Williams, didn't sign up for this. And Jonathan went at some point and said that, I think we could have been really good friends. I just wanted to tell you I'm really sorry about this. You know, I hope that you don't have any ill feelings towards me. And Guy Williams just said, okay, I've heard enough of that. And he walked away. He stayed, though, for the money for 3 years. He stayed the whole time of the series, and he had his moments. But he was quickly upstaged by Jonathan Harris, the robot, and Bill Mumy as Will Robinson. They became the three biggest stars on Lost in Space. Okay, so what did I do to the chat? What did I do that stopped me from seeing new chat? It is just it's just crazy. It's just crazy. I don't even know if I'm still on. It looks like I'm still on, but the number 63 hasn't changed. So, how do I possibly, being a technical dodo doesn't help at a time like this. Let's see here. That's not helping. Now I can't get it to move. Nope, it looks like we have not made it. So maybe we'll do a second stream for just a short time. It looks like I can end this stream and save it. So I want to do that before we get cut off. So that's part 1 of Worldwide Ramblings for Saturday night, the 5th of October. Hopefully there'll be a part 2. So stand by. Get ready to follow part 2 in a separate stream, okay? And thank you for those that hit the thanks button and the Cash App. Appreciate it so much.